open this thing and see what it'll do.
Ready to rock this, bro?
Oh, hell yeah. All right, Mayhem is officially all done with the right side wheelhouse. And I've even taken care of some of the old Frankenstein cuts that were in the rear window regulator panel. So this side is all done. And actually, if you look, the donor piece that I had to patch in right there around the wheelhouse is actually out of another red 68 Charger. I'll show you the panel right here. We cut this out of a 68 Charger that was in a wrecking yard in California. We actually took the whole car and then it was already butchered. So we just continued to butcher it, take what we needed. And then I don't think we really trashed much of it. I think most of it was like cannibalized into other cars, or not cannibalized, but grafted into other cars. Let's see, go ahead and look inside the wheelhouse here. See, that's all burned in, purdy looking, and you can see the big wheelhouse will fit in there. Actually, not big wheelhouse, I mean big tire. So actually the tire goes straight up instead of hitting that diagonal wheelhouse right here. So now it's got 5.5 inches of wheel clearance. I still need to seam seal everything in here. And I still got a seam seal all back here. These things were just galobbered with seam seal from the factory new. But as of right now, I need to get on the front of this thing just so I can get the fenders bolted back to the car, because fenders take up space. I don't have a lot of space. So we've already got this all cleaned up. This is where everything's gonna have to be welded. I'll probably have to do a little bit more to this. Walter cleaned it up for me, but I'm gonna go ahead and probably clean it up a little bit more. And then in this box right here is a beefed up lower core support from US Car Tools. So I got to clean the whole lower core support up, and actually we had to straighten this thing out because this thing was just bent in, bent up. It was pretty trashed, but we straightened out just so we can weld the support brace to it. And I cleaned that up, and then same thing. Walter's already cleaned this area up for me wherever it gets getting welded, but I'll probably go ahead and clean it up a little bit more just to double check. All right, set it. Now I need to get on it. All right, with Raymond's car sitting there on the frame jig, I had to go full genius and come up with a whole conglomeration to straighten the front clip on this thing. So we got this bar welded to the front clip. We have bottle jack going up to the awning, which actually this awning is super heavy. That's why I was able to do this. And then we got our support beam across side to side. Most of these spot welds here were broken out actually already. So pretty much from here down, those were all broke out. So I drilled these out because this is a floating bracket right here. This is just what connects the front clip to here. So this can move back and forth. And by scientific measurements, I have taken that this front clip, by drilling those spot welds out, pushing that down, the front clip is now is straight from here to here. And now it's straight this way. So Mayhem, once again, straight. Actually, probably was never straight to begin with. These cars are built with like plus or minus 1/4 inch tolerances all over. I've even seen one that was 3/8. So, but now that this is all straightened out, I'm gonna go ahead and burn this in, so then I can put my brace there, because I had to straighten the front clip before I welded this brace on here. Because if I tried to if I welded this brace right here, and then the torque box, and the lower core support brace, which I'm actually gonna put one on right there, if I would have done all that, there's no way I would have been able to push this frame rail down with what I've got here. So this thing would have had to rely on a frame jig, and it really wasn't super bad, so now it's less bad. All right, well, I need to get this all burned in and all the reinforcement braces welded on. I got that one welded on, so that one's all good to go. Again, this side didn't need to change at all. That's why I put this right here. So as that is pushing down, this side won't be affected. So it'll just go like this, like it's supposed to. I shall show you. Actually, where's my bubble level? Here we go. All right, here we go. Now I'm showing you this right here just because it's easier, but it is the same bubble here as it is on the frame rail. So you can see the bubble is right there. Let me see what you're seeing. Okay, yep, right there. Slightly that way. And the reason I'm leaving it like that is because when we go under the car, you shall see that the bubble, let me get it on the frame rails here. Alright, there we go. Is also slightly that way as well. And if we go all the way to the back, see, you get this guy right there. Oh, other side. So now we are on the rear frame rails, and you can see the bubble is also slightly that way. So now the rear frame rail, the back part of the front frame rail, which is like the main structure of a car from here to here, is now the same as it is the front clip. So seeing as how this is not on a frame jig, but the bubble is in the same location throughout the car is straight and level. I'm good with that. All right, burn it in. Making a patch piece for the Mayhem. Got Walter. You're on my tape line. So this is a inner fender from AMD, and we're just going to use this piece as my patch. So we're going to cut a big chunk out of it, and then we will graft it into the Mayhem right there. Let's see. I just got the lower torque box all welded on. Boom. And I am now working on the driver's side. So, boom, boom, and then the front clip is done. All right, well, cutter. everybody, back to business on the ass end of General Mayhem. So pretty much I've got to do everything that I did on the passenger side, I got to do the driver side. Starting with fixing the back of the rocker where it was hacked apart. So pretty much all I got to do is just add in a couple little pieces, which is here, add a little piece up here, and then I got to weld in the cuts, and that's just to fill that in so that way the front of the inner and outer wheelhouse have something to attach to. And then once that's done, I can set the wheelhouse up in here and I can start mocking up what it's going to take to fix or to replace everything up here that's been cut out. Luckily I have the template that I used from the other side, so that'll save me a bunch of time. Yeah, doing that side should save me a bunch of time on doing this side. But first thing first, rocker, and then I'll get to sit in the wheelhouse in here and see how much I've actually got to patch back in. But on a good note, I will save some time not having to make this piece. This is the roof structure. This is the main roof structure piece. I guess you could call it somewhat of a frame rail. It's like a boxed-in piece that runs all the way down the front of the roof. And I have the piece that we cut out of the C-body Roadrunner. So this is official C-body Roadrunner part, along with, what else we got C-body Roadrunner in this thing? Okay, that's C-body. That's C-body. If I get to it, that's C-body. That'll fix the hacked out part of the firewall. So plenty of C-body parts going to fix the Mayhem. So that car wasn't wasted. Actually, here it is. Right here. This is some of the C-body. Alright, welcome back under the General Mayhem. It's like I've been here before, having to do the same thing I did to that side that I did to that side. So I've already made my little patch piece here. You saw me kind of penciling that out, cut it out. So that's gonna go right there. Then, actually I lied. Before I can put that there, I've got to put this right here. This is actually out of the C-body Roadrunner. This is the roof structure that I cut out of that car. That's gonna go, actually it's gonna get patched into right here. But I can't just like go like this and call it done. No, I've got to take the outer wheelhouse, shove it back up in there, figure out where the flange has to sit on that outer wheelhouse, cut my excess off. You can see kind of a crude line. Well, I'm gonna do it better. So stick it over there, draw a line, cut this, then I can weld this to this. Then after that, I can take this guy. I can weld this to this. Then after that, I can take that outer wheelhouse and do the same thing that I did to the other side, which is make the outer wheelhouse taller. I have patched in a piece. Well, actually, I probably showed that already, but I have patched in a piece right here, made the wheelhouse not technically wider, but able to use more of its radius in the wheelhouse. So now the tire can go straight up about 3.5 inches higher than it used to be without hitting the outer wheelhouse. And then once that's done, then I can weld it in over there. And then once that's done, then I could take this guy, except the other side, narrow it 1 inch like I did right here, and then I can finally weld it in. But there's some little processes in between, like cleaning and prepping and weld through primer, which I can use U-pole copper, good stuff. I've tried all kinds of other stuff, they all suck. Steel, it's not too bad, but it doesn't quite weld as good as U-pole. I don't know if it's because Steel It sprays like twice as much quantity out of the can, like dollar for usable spray steel is the way to go. But I like the copper just because you don't have to fight it as much when you're welding. All right, yep, so I got to do some cleaning, prepping, copper primering, and then I can finally start welding all this stuff together after I do a lot of custom fab work. All right. Time to get to it. Oh yeah, now I got to do that. Actually, I'll have to do that after the wheelhouses are in. I'll have to do that after the wheelhouses are in. Oh yeah, I also got to lengthen both quarter panels where they cut it out. You can see the flange right there stops. That's because they cut that area out. Same thing on the other side. The only reason this flange is there is that's the new outer wheelhouse. But you can see the quarter panel has been cut. So I got to add metal there to finish the lower quarters. And then I got to put new lower quarter panels on it. And then I got to do the trunk pan. And then I got to do the rear trunk supports. And then I got to do the gas tank strap support. The trunk support, tail panel. It's actually kind of depressing when you think about it. I'm just going to start doing it. If you just start knocking out one thing at a time, before you know it, you're already done. All right, back to work. Man, I'm so glad I saved that roof structure piece out of C-body Roadrunner. That saved me so much time not having to replicate that roof structure piece. But now that that's put in there, now I can burn in the piece that they sawzawed out. So, let me go ahead and set this right here and burn it in. Making the new outer wheelhouse raised lip. It's like a Blair Witch project. Yeah. It's perfect. Good gap. Now the tire can go boom. Roll out here. Oh yeah. Boom. Got the outer wheelhouse installed. Got my roof structure all done. I got my inner wheelhouse all drilled out, ready to install. All I gotta do is just slap it up in place, and then I can burn it in. So then both wheelhouses on the General Mayhem, which was the biggest problem of this car, because it was all, what's the nice way to say it? Hacked? Yeah, okay, it was all hacked apart and had to remake everything. So by welding that one wheelhouse in there, all I gotta do after that is just make a trunk hinge support, replace what was cut out here, replace the rear seat brace. And again, this isn't just to hold the back seat from falling in. This actually is a structure because it's kind of V'd, so it actually does help hold the structure of the car. So, yep, burn it in, and finally the hardest part of the General Mayhem will be done. Yay! Better. All right, one thing I probably should note, because people are probably going to call me out on it, is if you notice on this side, you'll see that the inner and outer wheelhouse, the lineup holes are lined up together. Same with here, the top and the front. And I have plenty of frame rail. Actually, the trunk pan sits flat here, and I'll have plenty of meat to be able to weld to the wheelhouse. But this side, for some reason, the wheelhouse is shorter height-wise from the centering hole to the bottom. It's a 1/2 inch shorter. And even a 1/2 inch shorter, I just barely got enough. So what I had to do was I had to kind of clock the wheelhouse this way a little bit, just so I have a little bit of meat that I can weld to for the trunk pan. You'll see that it kind of lifted the front there, but it's not terrible, but yeah, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So I had to clock this inner wheelhouse on this side just to make up for the amount it was short. But oh well, it's General Mayhem, and it's not show car. All right, well, I'm gonna finish burning it in.
Weighs 2,500 pounds. Meanwhile, the Impala is 1185 out of that barge. I'm declaring a win, even if he did. Oh, that thing that Finnegan was holding back on me.